It's time for war. Hello again, this is Warzone episode 8. Let's get started. Monday Night Raw. This week, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the guest host, was terrific. We give him an 8 out of 10. Next match, John Cena versus The Big Show. This match was a pretty good match. We give it, Big Show wins. We give it a 4 out of 10. Next match, Evan Bourne versus Sheamus. This match never started, so we couldn't rate it. So, next match, Kelly versus Maurice. This match was pretty good. We give it, Maurice wins. We give it a 3 out of 10. Next match. This match, Shawn Michaels versus Chris Jericho. Shawn Michaels wins after Jericho got counted out. We give it a 5 out of 10. Next match, Triple H versus Randy Orton. This match was a WrestleMania Rewind match from the 25th anniversary of WrestleMania. This was a pretty good match. It ended up getting disqualified. Orton ended up getting disqualified. Well, Triple H ends up winning. We give it a 6 out of 10. Next, Gorgeous George was inducted to the 2010 Hall of Fame, WWE Hall of Fame. Okay, last match, Batista versus Kofi Kingston. This match was kind of a one-man match. We give it a 4 out of 10 after Batista wins. Raw totally, we give it a 6 out of 10. Okay, next, for NXT. Darren Young and CM Punk versus Matt Hardy and Justin Gabriel. This match was kind of back and forth. Darren Young and CM Punk ends up winning. We give it a 4 out of 10. Next match, Daniel Bryan versus Great Khali. Daniel Bryan had a smidge of chance in that match. He actually had upper hand for like 2 seconds. And we give that a... Great Khali ends up winning. We give that a 3 out of 10. Next match, Heath Slater versus Michael Tarver. This match was a good match. We give it a 5 out of 10 after Heath Slater is now 3-0. Beat Michael Tarver. Okay, next match, Wade Barrett versus Skip Sheffield. This match was a sort of good match. Wade Barrett ends up winning. We give it a 3 out of 10. NXT overall, we give it a 4 out of 10. Okay, next, for Friday Night SmackDown. John Morrison and R-Truth versus Hart Dynasty. Morrison and Truth ends up winning. We give that a 5 out of 10. Okay, next match. Beth Phoenix and Tiffany versus Michelle McCool and Layla. This was a pretty good match. You kind of say it was a one-handed somewhat near the end when Beth Phoenix ends up beating the crap out of Layla and Michelle McCool. Beth Phoenix and Tiffany ends up winning. We give it a 4 out of 10. Okay, next match. Swagger and Dolph Ziggler versus Matt Hardy and MVP. This match was somewhat a good match. Swagger and Dolph Ziggler ends up winning. We give it a 4 out of 10. Okay, next, Luke Gallows versus Rey Mysterio. This match was not all a good match. It was somewhat a one-man match, but in another way it wasn't, because Rey had the upper hand for a minute or two. So Luke Gallows ends up winning. We give that a 3 out of 10. Okay, last match, the main event. Undertaker versus Drew McIntyre. This match was probably the best match on SmackDown this week. Undertaker ends up beating Drew McIntyre, ending Drew McIntyre's streak for the third time, because Mr. McMahon keeps on giving it back, taking the loss away from him. So hopefully this will stay this time. But anyway, Undertaker wins. We give it a 6 out of 10. And after the match, Shawn Michaels attacked and looked like Undertaker was going to put him down, but then he was able to connect with the sweet chin music. SmackDown total, we give it a 4 out of 10. Okay, next, for the Superstar of the Week. Superstar of Raw was Triple H. And the Superstar of SmackDown is Undertaker. And the Superstar of the Week is...
Time to play the game. Time to play the game!
Yeah, that's right. The Superstar of the Week is Triple H. After he had a good match against Randy Orton, he ends up winning. He hadn't been our Superstar of the Week in forever at all. We ended up giving it to Triple H. Okay, next, Diva of the Week. Diva of Raw is Maurice. Diva of SmackDown is Beth Phoenix. And the Diva of the Week is... Yeah, that's right. The Diva of the Week is Beth Phoenix. I know she's been the Diva of the Week for the past 3 weeks, but in my opinion, the other Divas haven't been doing good at all of the past 3 weeks. And after she totally dominated Layla and Michelle McCool in that tag team match, I just decided to give it to her again for the third week in a row. Okay, next, Match of the Week. The Match of the Week comes from Friday Night SmackDown. Undertaker versus Drew McIntyre. I know this match I know this match was a one-handed match, but it was very entertaining. And especially after the match when Shawn and Undertaker, that was after the match, but anyway, we decided to give it to that match. Okay, next, the Show of the Week. The Show of the Week this week was not by far the best show of the week. It was good. It was slightly better than SmackDown and the other show. The Show of the Week is... Yeah, that's right. The Show of the Week is Monday Night Raw. After Stone Cold guest hosted, after the matches were pretty good, that guest hosting from Stone Cold was terrific, especially at the end when he was doing that thing with the contract between Bret Hart and Mr. McMahon at WrestleMania, and they were talking near the end of the show, and Bret Hart said he has one more thing to tell Mr. McMahon, and he said, well, I guess I'll let Bret tell you that. And then Mr. McMahon turned around, and Bret's calf was sitting on the table. That was funny, and then Bret Hart started beating the crap out of Mr. McMahon and said that if he just doesn't show up at WrestleMania, that Bret would sue him for everything he's worth. Okay, well, that's the end of Warzone. Check out episode 9.